Hello my friends, welcome back to my channel Amok for All. Up to 120 frames per second on the Xbox Series X. Up to, because in most of the cases, of course, this game runs closer to 60 FPS than anywhere near 120 frames per second. But that's not the point. We have unlocked frame rate on the Xbox Series X, and thanks to VRR on my LG CX, this is just working perfect. I learned about this feature by accident today when I read it on the internet, because in the settings there's really nothing mentioned about any 120 frames per second mode. So all what you have to do actually is just set your Xbox to 120 Hertz output, and of course make sure you have a low variable refresh rate enabled, because otherwise you end up with a lot of screen tearing. And that's how it is. It is easy to set it up, of course, when you know how to do it. In most of the cases, probably your Xbox is anyway running on the 120 Hertz output on the LG CX. But in my case, it was because of testing, because of recording with my gaming PC. I had to set it to 60 Hertz output, because otherwise, I'm struggling a little bit with recording and stuff like that. So I was not aware of that this is actually working, and it is really a great experience compared to the PlayStation 5 version. It looks less blurry to me. Really, it looks more fluent, more direct from... Okay, it's very hard to compare actually the controls, because this is not a very, how should I say, fast game. But in terms of higher frame rate, I can see the difference between 60 FPS and up to 90 FPS, because this is what I experienced so far. So what you can see on the freezing information here is right now, let's say like this, 2.9 Hertz, which is most likely something around 70 frames per second. So just switch to the PC version. And this, by the way, is 4K Ultra settings on my, I still call it high-end PC, because it's a 5950 CPU from AMD, 16 core, and a 3070 Nvidia. So not the high-end graphic card, but very expensive already. So I paid, I think, $3,500 for this PC, just to get you an idea what we're talking here. This is 4 or 5 times more expensive than an Xbox Series X, okay? So, but it looks probably 4 to 5 times better on the screen as well. 4K Ultra settings, and this is the frame rate what we're getting. VSync is not enabled. It's really just around 60 FPS. So my PC is not able to run this in 4K Ultra settings in more than actually 60 FPS, or not even close to 120 FPS, just when I'm looking to the ground. But what's the point? Anyway, so what I like to show you is actually when we talking about 60 FPS, we're talking about around 2.5 Hertz, okay? So let me just change this quickly to, I think, 80. Yeah. So resolution scale is now 80, so we are below 4K now. We're talking about 80 frames per second when we have 3.5 Hertz, okay? So we just keep this in mind, that we have actually now an idea what we're talking about. Because right now we have, still way over 60 FPS, as you can see, because it's more than 2.5. I would actually say it's around 70 FPS, maybe 75 FPS. And again, there's no stuttering, no flickering, no tearing, nothing at all, thanks to VRR on the LG CX. This is really working perfectly. And as you can see, up to, depends where you look at, I had actually 4.0 as well. So 4.0 is way over 100 frames per second. So this is really working great, and I like to see this in more games, please. Okay, so that's for this video, because this was really just a very quick video about this great feature, and I hope that we can have unlocked frame rates in many more games, not just on the Xbox. Sony, please give us a VRR firmware update on the PlayStation 5, because this is just great. And why not using the whole range from VRR in the future, 40 to 120 frames per second? Because I wouldn't have a problem if the frame rate goes like this all the time. I wouldn't have a problem, because I played like this for years on the PC, especially when you think about games like Red Dead Redemption on the PC. The frame rate is all over the place all the time, and with my PC I have frame rates between, let's say, 30 FPS to 70 FPS with my settings all the time, and thanks to VRR it is no problem to play actually. And yeah, this is a great feature, and I really hope they're not patching this out, to be very honest. I hope this is on purpose you know, but probably not, because there's no slider, no switch, nothing at all in the settings. So I really think that probably at some point we will have a patch where this option is gone, or maybe we have a slider or a switch then, which is great, of course, because I wouldn't miss this option, because why not? It's the same graphical quality as in the 60 Hz mode, just with a higher refresh rate. Why not use the higher refresh rate? This is just so much better. Okay. Anyway, so that's enough for this video. I say thank you very much for watching me. I see you guys next time. Bye.